You finally decide to save more money. You stop buying things you don't really need. You watch your savings account slowly grow. So why doesn't your brain feel happier? In fact, saving can sometimes feel surprisingly uncomfortable. And the reason has almost nothing to do with math. Your brain doesn't naturally think about money like a spreadsheet. It thinks about rewards, losses, and what happens right now. That's where saving money creates a strange psychological problem. You give up something today for something you can't see, and your brain is heavily biased toward the present. Psychologists call this tendency present bias. Immediate rewards simply feel more powerful than distant rewards. Imagine having $100 today. Your brain can immediately imagine what that money could buy: a meal, a game, clothes, or something completely unnecessary. Now imagine keeping that same $100 for 10 years. The future benefit is real, but it's much harder to visualize. There's no instant excitement attached to watching money sit. That's one reason spending can feel more rewarding than saving.
But there's another problem hiding underneath. Saving money can actually feel like losing something. Think about what happens when you put money into savings. You haven't technically lost anything, but you've removed that money from your immediate spending options. Your brain notices that restriction. Behavioral economists describe this through the idea of loss aversion. People often react more strongly to losses than equivalent gains. So giving up spending freedom can feel surprisingly painful, even when you're doing something financially beneficial. This is why saving can sometimes feel like punishment. You're essentially telling your brain, "not now," and your brain really likes now. There's also something called mental accounting. We don't always treat every dollar as equally valuable. A dollar in your wallet feels different from a dollar in savings. A dollar labeled vacation feels different from one labeled rent. The money is mathematically identical, but psychologically, you've placed it into different mental categories. This can completely change how you feel about spending it. Now imagine opening your banking app after saving for months. You see $5,000 sitting there. You should probably feel proud, but instead, your brain immediately notices everything you could buy: a new phone, a weekend trip, better clothes, maybe even something you've wanted for months. Suddenly, that savings balance feels less like security. It feels like a pile of opportunities you're refusing to take. That's the psychological trap. Saving creates an invisible reward. Spending creates a visible one. And humans tend to respond strongly to things they can immediately experience. This is also why small purchases can become so tempting. The brain receives immediate feedback after spending. You click buy and something happens. A package arrives. You use the product. You experience the reward. Saving doesn't work that way. Nothing exciting happens when you transfer $50. Your future self simply becomes slightly safer. That's valuable, but emotionally invisible. And humans are notoriously bad at imagining future versions of themselves. Research on future self-thinking shows an interesting pattern. The more disconnected people feel from their future selves, the harder saving becomes. Think about your future self 5 years from now. Technically, it's still you, but emotionally, that person can feel strangely distant. Your brain may prioritize today's happiness over tomorrow's security. That's why retirement can feel like someone else's problem. It's also why 20-year-olds can struggle to care about retirement accounts. The reward is decades away. Meanwhile, today's purchase is available immediately. But there's a powerful way to make saving easier. Stop relying entirely on willpower. Instead, make saving happen automatically. Automatic transfers remove the decision from your brain. You don't repeatedly have to choose between spending and saving. The money moves before temptation gets involved. This idea is closely connected to behavioral economics. Small changes in how choices are structured can dramatically influence behavior. It's sometimes called a choice architecture or behavioral nudge. Instead of asking yourself to become more disciplined, change the system. Make saving the default. Then make spending what's left feel intentional. There's another trick that matters just as much. Give your savings a concrete purpose. Don't simply call it savings. Call it emergency fund. Call it first apartment. Call it college. Call it freedom. A specific goal gives an invisible future reward a mental picture, and that can make delayed rewards feel more meaningful.
You're no longer refusing to spend money. You're buying something that doesn't arrive today. You're buying options. You're buying flexibility. You're buying the ability to handle problems without panic. That's a very different psychological story. And here's the surprising part. You don't necessarily need to love saving money. You just need to make saving easier than resisting it. Your brain isn't broken because spending feels good. It's responding to immediate rewards exactly as humans tend to do. The mistake is expecting willpower to defeat that system every day. Instead, design your environment around how your brain actually works. Automate the boring decisions. Make your goals visible. Give your savings a meaningful purpose. And leave yourself some money that you're allowed to enjoy. Because a financial plan that feels like punishment rarely lasts. The goal isn't to eliminate spending. The goal is to stop spending from controlling you. Saving feels difficult because your brain lives in the present. Your future self lives somewhere your brain can't directly experience. But every dollar you save is a message to that future person. You're not taking something away. You're giving yourself more choices.